Hello and welcome back to Pinky Hooks. I'm so glad to finally be bringing back another crochet video. I know it's been quite some time and I told you guys what's been going on, but nevertheless, I am here and I am here to present my first winter project because everyone is creating winter items. I feel like I'm the only person in the crochet and knitting world who was not on board with making winter items. I was still doing Lord knows I don't know what. But nevertheless, I am calling this fabulous winter hat my blueberry sunset ski hat. Ha, you like that, don't you? Sure you do. And as you can see, I added a little fur pom-pom. Ooh. Look at that. Oh my God. I feel guilty because this is about as soft as Ruby. And for those of you who don't know who Ruby is my pet Holland Lop rabbit. And trust me, this is not rabbit fur. This is a friendly animal channel, okay? So let's look at the supplies that I use to make this hat. I got this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is their brand. I love this yarn, okay? The color of this yarn is called Amber Honey, okay? And as you can see, it has 252 yards, okay? And the recommended hook size is an I, but believe it or not, to do this hat, I actually used, I don't even think you can see it. There you go. Let me see. Is it focusing on the H? Okay. So you can do it in a size I or J or K. But remember, when you use a bigger hook, you're going to go up. Your hat will be bigger. And this is, I have a large head. Okay. So this is an adult size hat. And so it's going to fit an adult. So depending on who you're making this for, go ahead and choose your hook size. And for this project, okay, you will need a pair of scissors and a sewing needle, okay? And that's going to be to tuck in our ends. And if you want to add on, a cute pom-pom, you can either add on the ones like this, right? Which actually I will show you at the end of the video, like how to sew one of these on, because I have another hat that I am almost done, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do it. Or you can make your own pom-pom. Some people make it, out of the yarn that they was using for this hat. And again, remember, this hat was done with this skein, which was 252 yards. And you can see how much I have left. Like, and I think it's just because of the stitch, which I'm so happy to show you. Also, I will put the link in the description box where I got my pom-poms. I basically bought this whole entire bag. I think it was a bag of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 10, 11. Oh, I think I miscounted, but I think it's a bag of 12 because there's another pom-pom that I'm going to show you at the end. So a bag of 12, and I forgot what the price is, but again, we will find out when I put the link in the description box from Amazon, okay? Or you can go to Joann's or Michael's. I think both of those stores sell them. I have never seen those kind of pom-poms in Hobby Lobby, but who knows? They may sell them. Don't quote me. All right, so if you guys are ready, let's get started. Grab your hook, your yarn, whatever color you want to do. Grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to get started. So again, if you don't want to use that yarn, that's fine. I would do that hat in a 4-ply. And for this tutorial, I was trying to find some colors and I was just like, I'm just going to do a tutorial. Like, I'm just going to show them how to do it. And I'm recreating this hat. And I couldn't find something that will be like clear. And then I was like, oh, look. There's my 78-cent yarn. Look at that. Oh, 252 yards too. Yep, got this from Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance, as you can see. 78 cents. 78 cents. I'm sorry. I know I need to get started, but $2.99 and went down to 78 cents. Now you see why people who, you know, they have a lot of yarn and they can't help themselves. I mean, who's going to pass up a skein of yarn for 78 cents? Not I, said the Pied Piper. No, 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 no. Okay. So let me get all nice and happy. Which one am I going to use? I said we are using, I'm actually going to use a size I for this tutorial. So we're going to work this hat beginning with the rim of the hat. So the bottom of the hat, and then we will work our way up. Okay. That's how we are going to do this. Let me get started here. Make your slip knot. And what we're going to do is chain up 9, okay? All right, and once you have your 9 chains, okay, what you want to do is work in the back bump, okay, right here, with 1 single crochet. If you don't want to work in the back bump, that's fine. You could just put 1 single crochet in every stitch going back, okay? I just started, I would say probably within the past year, really getting more comfortable with working in the back bump of my foundation chain. It would drive me crazy. Like, I may not do it for a long chain, but I'll do it for a short chain because you got to get used to it. And people be like, I can't see the back bump. But the reason why I actually started liking working in the back bump is because of the fact that your foundation chain it doesn't have that holy look. You know what I mean? Like, there's no spaces and it just looks neater and it's sturdier. That's what we're going for. It's sturdier. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to turn once you complete. Now, when you're done, you should have 6. No, I'm sorry, 8. Duh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that little guy on the end is 8. Okay. So when we get to the end, you are going to chain 1, right? And then you're going to turn your work. And what we're going to do is we're going to work in the back stitch only. We're doing single crochets, but the back stitch. So for those of you who are new to crocheting, you see how this looks like a V? You see how your top, you see that V? You're going to work basically in between the V, but you're going to insert your hook. Normally you would insert your hook like this under both loops, right? You see how it's under both loops, but you're not going to do that. We're going to work in the back loop only. So you want to stick it in between the V, right? And then do your single crochet. Okay, so let's try that again. You're going to work in the back loop only, and I have it turned like this so that you can see clearly what I'm saying. Right, do your single crochet, the back loop only, because if you work underneath both loops, right, you're not going to get your ribbed effect for the brim of your hat. Okay. So back loop only, 1 single crochet all the way to the end. Yep. Okay, and when you get to the end, if you just want to count just to make sure, right, you still should have 8. So 8 stitches. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Did you see that? Okay. All right. It looks a little funny now, but you'll see the brim. And now I'm working with this off-white yarn. I was like, ooh, this may not have been a good idea to do this white on white. Well, it's not even white on white. It's kind of like off-white. But anyway, nevertheless, you get to the end, you chain 1. Turn your work, and again we are going to work 1 single crochet in the back loop only. Yep. Okay. And I'm sorry, my hands are a little shaky, probably because I had too much caffeine today at work. And I think it's still in my system. Which is why I'm recording this video, because I was like, ooh, I'm awake. I might as well do something productive. I still got to go to work tomorrow, but whatever. Now, when you get to the end, sometimes it tends to hide, you know. But you don't want to be like, oh, I'm at the end. You're not at the end. I mean, you don't want to say this is the last end. This is not. You want to make sure that you get that last one. There you go. Chain one and turn. Again, back loop only. Insert your hook in the back loop. Do a single crochet. Back loop only. All right. And when you first start, your ribbed look. It may not look like much and you're just like, oh, I really don't like it, but keep doing it. And so basically what we're going to do is you are going to do this, and I mean, as long as you needed to, and then fold it in, okay? And I'm going to, of course, come back with you, but you're going to have to do it to the circumference of your head, basically. So there is no, like, I did not count, like, how many ridges I did on this guy right here. I just basically I just kept taking it the longer it got, and then I will put it around my head. And remember, because you're doing a rib, right, it's going to stretch. It stretches, right? So like this guy right here is going to stretch. So you don't want to be like, I mean, basically when you're, as you're going along and you're measuring it, you want to be able to, I would say, stretch it as you're, when you're putting it around your head, when you're taking your measurements or whatever. I mean, you can go ahead and measure the circumference of your head first, but I'm like just kind of on a whim. I just kept putting it up to my head. So basically, like I said, you're going to continue this. I did not set like a certain amount of rows that you need to do. This is based on your measurement of your head, or, if you're doing it for your child, you do the same thing. Go ahead and measure your child's head, or just grab a hat that they already have, and then you're going to use your best judgment. So what you're just going to do is you're just going to keep doing this step until you get your length. And then I'm going to meet you back here, and I'm going to show you how to start the body of the hat. Okay. Now you see how that looks? You see your ridges are starting to come together. Yeah. All right. And there you go. So I'll meet you back here so we can start working on the body. Okay. So this is what it should look like. Okay, you see how you now got this beautiful edging. You're ribbed, okay? That is going to be the bottom of our hat. I just think it's the coolest thing ever, okay? So what I'm going to do now is connect the two. Excuse me. And for this video, mine is going to be extremely small. Probably will fit the head of a toddler, but I'm just trying to do this on a smaller scale, to show you how to make the beautiful hat. So what we're going to do is you're going to fold these two in half, and basically here's your tail, the beginning, right? So you're going to fold this in half so the ends are meet, because we're going to just do a slip stitch. Okay. And as you notice, I'm sorry, I have to put the brace back on for my hands. My hands started flaring up, so and nothing I can do about it but put the brace on. Okay, so with your hook still ending in that chain one when you ended your row, right? You are going to work in the back stitch only. You're going to insert your hook on the other side. So can you see that? The back stitch. Oh, hold on. Right there. Okay. and you're going to slip stitch. Just slip stitch. Okay, so now here we go. You're going to insert your hook from one side, from the front on this side, and then the back on this side. Yarn over and pull your yarn through completely. You got that? Let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to separate it for you. The front end, or front loop, I'm sorry, and then on the other side, the back loop right there. Pull your yarn through. Okay, want to see that again? Because what this is going to do, because we're going to turn this inside out. So this is working a beautiful, you know, like you're not going to really be able to see that seam. Front loop on this side, and then the back loop on that side. Okay. And if you think this is too complicated and you're just like, no, I don't like it, you can always whip stitch it. But I'm trying to do it in a technique where you will not see the seam. Front loop on this side, and you're connecting it with the back loop on that other side. Okay? And remember, this is a slip stitch, not a single crochet. Right? Let me find that back loop on the other side. We're almost there. I know it hurts. I know it's a painful process. Ooh, my yarn split. Okay. And I'm trying to do this like looking down into the camera. It's kind of weird, you know, when I'm recording sometimes. Because I'm not really looking directly at the work. I'm looking at the top of my camera. I'm like, what? Ooh, we're almost there. Okay. And there we go. Shoo. All right. And there we have it. So here's the bottom of our tail. That is the beginning. Okay. And now we're going to work the body. So we're not going to, you know, unless you're doing it in 2 different colors or something like that, we are not going to cut. We are just going to get started. We are going to chain 1, okay? And you're going to go right back into that hole. You see that hole right there? Right there, okay? With a half double crochet, okay? All right, you're going to then chain 1, and you're going to skip the next stitch and then go here and put in a half double crochet by yarning over, inserting your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, and that's your half double crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, go into the following stitch with a half double crochet, which is yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. Okay, chain 1, skip a stitch, right there, and go into that obvious hole with a half double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around, okay, until you come back to the beginning. Okay, remember, so you always have to chain 1 after you complete your half double crochet. You're going to skip a stitch and put in a half. Okay, there we go, right there. Sometimes it gets a little tricky. Skip that stitch and then put in a half double crochet right there. There we go. Chain 1, skip a stitch, put in your half double crochet. All right, so do this all the way around, and then when we get back here, I'm going to show you how we are going to actually start to work the body and the pattern, okay, for this hat. Okay, so when you get right near the end, okay, here's your last half double crochet. You're going to skip that. When you do that last half double crochet, we're not going to chain one, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a half double crochet. I thought we was going to slip stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet into the top right there. There we go. Underneath both of that beginning chain, you're going to do a half double crochet. And the reason why we didn't do a chain one, okay, is because by us doing a half double crochet into the top of that next chain, it created a chain space that we're going to need, okay? So that's what you're going to do. When you got there, you're going to do a half double crochet. You're not going to chain one right there. You're just going to do a half double crochet into the top of that. And now we're going to chain one, right? And when we do the chain one, we are now going to yarn over, and we're going to do a half double crochet right here with this space is. I'll put my finger since the board is white, okay? You're not just going to go, well, you're going to actually go into the stitch below the space. You got that? So right there, you're going to yarn over and go into that stitch, okay? Bring your yarn back through, up, pull it up, and then complete your half double crochet. There you go. And now you're going to chain one, and you don't have to worry about saying, oh, I got to skip a stitch, because you know that you're just going to work in this space, but you're not working directly into the space like that. You are going into the stitch below that space. I'll put my finger up against it again so you can see, right? Right there at the top of this ridge, right there. Okay, so bring up your yarn and do your half double crochet, chain one. Here we go. Right? Go to that next space and put it in the top of the ridge. Okay, the top of that ridge. Remember, here's your space. You're going below right there. And this is the only time it's going to get a little tricky, because once you complete this row, oh, wait a minute, that's not, you need to make sure you go under both loops. Once you complete this row, right, when we come back around, it's going to be super easy. Okay, it's just this trying to get this set up, right? Okay, watch your gauge when you're pulling back your yarn up, because if you do it too tight, it's going to start to scrunch up on you, okay? All right, you want to do this all the way around. All right. Okay, so when you come back around, right, you're probably like, okay, well, wait a minute, you know, because you realize that you're right here. This is the beginning, okay? Let me pull this out a little bit more. There we go. So what we're doing is, if you notice, I didn't tell you to get a stitch marker because we're working on the rounds. I mean, some people will, if you feel like you need a stitch marker, please be my guest. Go ahead and get one. But pretty much the tail right here is our guide. Okay, you see how that tail is? And it's going up this stitch, so you can really tell where you came back, you know, like when you're when you've completed a round, excuse me. All right. So right here, as you can see, I chained up one and I'm just working in the rounds. Okay. So you just yarn over, you skip this stitch, because remember, all you got to do is look for the hole. The hole is your guide, and you're going to go below just like you've been doing and complete your half double crochet and chain one. And now you'll see what I'm saying. Now it's going to get easier because you're not, you're coming off of that that base row that started the actual stitch. You just keep going in rounds. You go below the hole and do your half double crochet and you chain one. Okay, you see that? You going in that stitch. Right there. So here's your hole, but you're going in the stitch below the space. Okay, in the stitch below the space. Don't forget to do your chain one, because every time you do your chain one, you create, right, your spaces for the next row. I'm going to do a couple of rounds and to see what this looks like with this color yarn. And this is where, like, I just started, I just start flying. Once I got the first, like 2 rows done of the actual stitch, you could just easily find your way. Again, remember the space, because I'm so scared that people might get frustrated, like for beginners, and you're going into that stitch below, into a stitch below under 2 loops. Don't forget to do your chain one to create that next space for your next row, because I'm telling you right now, if you forget to chain one, even one stitch, and you get, you start the next round, you're going to be like, oh no, and you're going to have to pull it out, and nobody wants to pull it out due to a mistake. That is the worst, right? Okay, so as you can see, we're coming back, well, at least on mine, we're coming back to the beginning of this round. Or we're coming to the end, the beginning, whatever you want to say. Okay, so again, let that tail be your guideline if you don't want to use a stitch marker, right? Because you're just working in the rounds, just working it up. Now, I'm just going to work my little body hat, of the hat here, just so that for this hat, basically, there are 17 rounds, okay, just doing this pattern that I just showed you, okay? After you complete 17 or 18 or however big you want your hat to go up, okay, that's when we're going to start to do the decrease, okay, to kind of shape the hat going in, okay, even though it's going in because we got to gather it up and sew it, but you still will have to do a few rows of decrease. So what I want you to do is work your body up. You continue to do, because you may want your pom-pom to hang down, I don't know, but I like my pom-pom sitting right on the top of the crown of my head, looking like I got an idea, like a light bulb, like bing. So do as many that you want and then meet me back here, and then I'm going to show you how I did the decrease. Okay, so again, I'm making a little baby hat, okay? I know it looks like an adult hat because the camera's super duper close, but you can see by my hands, it's pretty much a baby hat. So I am about to, I think I just did like 10 rows up. Again, this is for a toddler or a small child. So once again, once I get back to the beginning, which I just follow my tail from beginning and follow it up. I stay my hand right in the center, and that's how I know that I'm getting right back to the beginning. Okay, we are going to start the decrease. All right, so you will start with by yarning over, going into your stitch underneath your space, pulling up a loop. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over again, go into the next space. If you notice, there's no, I didn't do, you know, like a chain. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 loops, and you're just going to pull all the way through. That's how I'm doing my decrease, and then you chain 1. So it's like a cluster. Okay, again, yarn over, go into that space, the stitch in the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch underneath the next space, pull up a loop, and you're just going to draw through all 4 or 5, however many that was. Okay, let's try that again. Chain 1, yarn over. Okay, yarn over, go into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch your gauge, because you really want to be loose with this, and then chain 1. Okay, again. Okay. You notice I took off the brace. My hand started acting right a little bit. Okay, and so as you can see, it starts, you see how, ooh, look, peekaboo, it starts creating a perfect little hole, like a little circle. I mean, you see how circular it looks though? It's like, it's just perfect. I'm sorry. I know I sound a little tired. My energy is wearing off. They was just like, you should record when you're kind of tired, but I was like, oh no, I'm already in it now. Okay. Next one. One here. Yarn over. Go to the next one. Pull through all 5. Chain 1. I'm almost back around. Onto this one. Pull up a loop. Go into that next stitch underneath that next space. Pull up a loop. Go through all 5 and chain 1 again. Pull up a loop. Whew. Getting a little tight. Okay, and now, as you can see, I'm back where my starting is. If I follow that up, just straight up. Okay. Because what I'm going to do is this, I'm about to end this increase by, when I just chained one, we go into this space right here, right? Yarn over, okay, and then there's the next one. Those two together, and that's going to be the last one, and chain one. Okay, so now this next row is just going to be a regular row. Okay, you may need to do like another row of decreases, just one more. Okay, for this child's hat, as you can see, I don't need to do another decrease because now it's already starting to take its form up. Now when I did this hat, okay, for an adult, I did, and how I know that I did multiple decreases, because you can see closely. You see how those, that right there, so let me get, here we go, that's better. Right there is a V. See, the rest of them don't look like V's, but you see that green, it's an upside down V, and then above it, it's an upside down V. That's how you know I did 2 rows back to back. So when the adult size hat, I did, once I started my first row of decrease, the second row, you will do another row of decrease. Then your third after that will be a regular row. And then if you go up more, right? Let me see. Decrease, decrease, a regular row, right? And then I did one more decrease because you can see, I can see the V right there. And then I did a regular row. That's what I did. Yep. So back to this. So now, since for this little baby hat, right, I am just going to go 2 more rounds, right, of regular stitches. No more decrease. Okay. So how I have to do it is, and it gets tricky because you see where this is the V. Look, there's the V, the upside down V right there. So you're like, okay, well, where's my thing? Well, when we finish the last one, right? Look real close. We're at this hole. Don't think this is the hole that you need to go into. That's why you chained one. You're going to skip this area. Now, this is where it's going to get crazy. You're going to go in between that V right there, because if you pull your work, I'm going to put this hook in there. See how I pulled that down? I know it's a little hard, but in between the V, there is the hidden stitch under your space, okay? So it's going, so basically, in other words, you're going to do a half double crochet in between the upside down V through that stitch. That's probably the best way to explain it. Chain one, and now this one is obvious. You know, here's your space, and then you go into the stitch like you was on the previous rows, right? Do a half double crochet, chain one. There's your upside down V. So you go in between, right into that. Pull up a loop. Oops, sorry. Yarn over, in between the V stitch, go in. Pull up a loop. Watch your gauge. Pull through all 3, sorry. And then chain one, right? And now here's the obvious. Right? There's your upside down V, right? So yarn over and go right in between the upside down V. pull up a loop, complete your half double crochet, chain 1. Here's the obvious. Sorry, the yarn split a little bit. I hear a moving van. I know somebody not moving at 10:30 at night. Chain 1. Go in between. There's your upside down V. You're going to go right in the center. Somebody is moving at 10:30 at night. Ain't that something? I wonder if it's a getaway. Chain 1. Am I back? Nope. Okay, upside down V, go right in between. Okay. So, I am back at the beginning, right? And so now this should be, you should have one, when you get back to the end or the beginning, you should still have one like V left, right? So you're going to go right into that V like we have been doing, right? And now, and chain 1, and now when you go back around, right, you don't have to worry about going in between those V's because it's just back to the regular space. You go below, space, go below, right? So here's your first space. You go into that stitch below. Chain 1, just like before we did the decrease. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Okay. Shoo. It gets tricky sometimes when you use a light color. Like this. But I am really liking this tweed. And I mean, it's not the best yarn, but it sure enough ain't the worst. I mean, for 79, what did I say? How much was this? 78 cents. 78 cents. How? I mean, it can't, yeah, you can't get that. You know? It can't get any better than that. Ooh, y'all know I'm getting excited. You could tell that I'm getting excited because I'm picking up speed because I'm like, yay, it is almost done. It's done. It's almost done. And I think I was just really excited. I'm not trying to really rush through it, but I think on the way home from work today, I can't even speak. On the way home from work today, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to turn on the football game and I'm going to mute it. Right? And that's what's happening right now. And I'm just going to go ahead because I didn't want to wait till this weekend to show you guys because I cranked out 2 of these hats actually. Well, the other one I haven't put the top on yet, right? But I really love, now even though this is like more so one color, if I zoom in, see, I don't know if you can really see it. Oh, I just love it. I love that stitch. Oh, I love how this little baby hat is coming together. Calling all babies of America. Who shall I crown with this hat? What baby do I know I will crown with this hat? Ooh, I can think of 2 friends right now looking at this and thinking to myself, thinking to themselves, like, ooh, Shy, what are you going to do with that hat? Shy's my nickname, by the way. I know, yes, my channel's called Pinky Hooks. I'm Shania Lancaster, but Shy is the nickname. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 more rounds. Let me see. Hold on. I think I'm going to, I'm going to do 1 more round going up, and then I'm going to show you how to close this, okay? I'll meet you back. Okay, so I mean, look at that. It is a cute little toddler hat. I guess a baby. I'm sorry, I don't have children. But that looks like it would fit a baby's head, right? Yeah. But anyway, but you guys are not making it for a baby. I think you're making it for yourselves. So what we're going to do, I'm back at the beginning. As you can see, there's my beginning chain. And so, like I said, I just follow the guideline. I just go straight up and be like, yay, I'm back. Okay. So when you get to that last double crochet, of course, you're going to chain 1. And you're going to pull a long piece of yarn. You're going to pull a long piece because we're about to sew. Okay. Don't cut the wrong end. Okay. And we're going to pull that. All right. Get your needle. Thread. Oh my goodness. I'm just so psyched that I am putting out my little first fall winter project. You know, depending on where you live. Wait a minute, don't judge me, y'all. I'm trying to get this yarn through this needle. Okay. But depending on where you live, right? Now, for me, where I'm living right now, it's going to take a hot second before it gets cold for me to use. And I think I used too much string. You know what? I'm going to have to cut some of this because, oh my God. What was I thinking? Ugh, I'm just wasteful. Wasteful Susie. Yeah, so where I live at, you know, I mean, I'm going to wear a hat anyway, you know, because I love hats. Before, it don't need to be super cold. Anyway, so here we go. We got the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to cinch this up. Not to get it like too crazy, but this is the goal that I'm going for. That look right there, right? So it's almost like doing a what do you call that? A drawstring bag, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the top like this. You see how we're going in between there? And I'm going to go through here, through the next one. Pull the yarn through. Go into the next one, do in, right? Can y'all see that? I'm going in between the V. And do it 3 at a time, and it's going to start to, you just give it a little tug, right? And Yep. Okay. Let me adjust my camera. Okay. So again, you're coming in between that V stitch, right? And then in the next one, you go this direction in between, right? And then in the third one, you go in between, come this way. All right, pull your yarn through. And see, and then that way you can control how, like if you give it a little, just give it a little tug. See, it starts to, and pull and push your pressure right. You see how it starts to, like a drawstring bag. God, I can't talk, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right. Again, so we go into the next one. You want to go in between the V stitch. And then the next one, which is your second one, come in between the V. When I say the V stitch, that, you know, how your chain looks up top. And then in the third one in the center. So I'm doing 3 at a time. And I wouldn't be sitting here fighting with the yarn had I not made it so long. Pull it, right? See that? Through 1, 2, come this way, 3. Yep. Don't make your yarn too long, because then you'll be fighting with it like I am right now. I guess I just be wanting to make it long because I'd rather be safe than sorry. And folks, don't be discouraged by my voice. I know I'm starting to sound a little bit tired, but like I said, I didn't want to wait until this weekend, like to the full weekend, to bring you this or start the tutorial this weekend. I just wanted to have it ready for you so that you had something to do on the weekend, right? You see what I'm saying? You see how I'm sacrificing some shut-eye so that you can have something to do for this weekend. Or you can be like, oh, I can't wait to get off Friday night, depending on when this air. So I can get started. Oh, and you know what? While I'm sitting here doing this, I know what will keep me awake. I just want to say, and I don't want to say her name. It is a her, right? This week earlier, she subscribed to my channel because I'm trying to keep her privacy now. She makes a comment, say, it's okay. I think it's me. You know who you are. You just subscribed to my channel. I think it was on Tuesday. I was at work and I was just like, oh, bing, I got a notice. I was just like, what? And it said her name. And I was just like, oh. And I was at work. New subscriber, new subscriber, I'm talking to you. And I was just like, and literally, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. The universe has sent me someone new. Oh, I was so happy and so grateful. Yes, I was. Yeah. Oh, you made my day, new subscriber. And I won't let you down. I'm not going to let you down. Isn't that right, Barbara? Barbara, say, we're not going to let you down, new subscriber. And new subscriber, if you hear me say the name Barbara all the time, you know, and you're like, who the heck is Barbara? Barbara is someone who, I'm telling you, depending on how far I go with this channel, she is going to be like, she's going to be like I don't know, an urban legend. You know, urban legend, there's some truth to it. You know that it exists, but nobody's ever seen, nobody's actually ever seen the sighting. Like, I have not seen a Barbara sighting other than through her comments. Oh, look at that, a drawstring. So anyway, once you get back to the beginning, right, you see, now we're going to give, like I said, just keep giving it a little tug and then put your hand inside, okay, like a little mitt. Look at that. See how that's working out? But you don't want to do it too tight, because then, you'll have like these four corners. So I think this will work. I'm gonna pull mine open just a little bit more. Okay, and now, ta-da. Now, here's the thing. The question is, I'm sorry. The question is, do you want to put a topper on or not? So I'm going to put a topper on. We're going to find a topper for this. It's just too cute. This is too cute not to put a topper on, right? Okay, so let's see what color we're gonna get. Ooh, I could get a black. What do y'all think about that? Is that too crazy for a baby? But I like the way that comes out. Look at that, because of the specs. Ooh, a black topper for a baby. What do y'all think about that? Let's try a darker color. What about this one? I don't know. That black is really doing it. Ooh, looky. Okay, look. What about the gray? Okay, let's do the gray. Boring. Psh. You know what? We going with that little black top. Ooh, get it, baby. That baby gonna be styling and profiling. Yeah. I know I just told my age by that terminology, but who cares? Styling and profiling. Okay, so again, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to make your own topper, you can. But again, things like this helps me because I be tired, people. And sometimes I'm just flat out lazy, right? So I just want this, and it's already made and it feels really soft. So if you get one of these, what you will have to do is somewhere in this foolishness, you'll have to feel around for it, and it's probably best to kind of take your hook or something and see, and then feel for it. Now look at that. I'm going to show you this. See how there's look, there's the band, and it's built in there, okay? So that's where, ta-da, I'm going to now take my needle and put it in here, pull this through, okay, and I'm going to begin to close up the top. Okay, I can't believe my camera actually cut off. So basically, it cut off while I was putting this on, but you saw how I was doing it. Once you got it secured to the top, like I said, some people will use glue. I do not use fabric glue on something like this. I just secure it. I just keep, checking it out. And the part where the camera cut off was that before I cut the yarn, basically after I got it secure, I had turned the hat inside out. Right? And I was telling you to look for any holes, because that's where you're going to finish, sewing it or whatever. And then you're going to tie your knot on the inside and then cut your yarn and then turn it back over. Okay. And then what I was trying to get to is that I was saying, let's tuck in that last tail. This is the beginning tail when we first started this hat, So you just want to take your needle and just go along the stitches, up in here, right through there. See, nobody can see that. Nobody can see that. Pull it through. Come on. Of course, this is how it always goes down. When you get to the end. Everything is just like, and the universe knows that you just want to get to the end. Okay. Cut off your excess. Oh, Shiny, don't cut this hat. One time, I was finishing a project, y'all. I went to go cut the tail. Do y'all know I cut into the fabric? Oh, I was so mad. And it was an order for somebody. Somebody was asked me to make them a bag. And oh my God, I was just sick. I was sick. Oh, look at baby hair. Hi, dingy, dingy. Oh, I want to be a baby and wear this hat. And there you have it. I'm so sorry if I did not bring enough energy. I started off real strong, y'all. I did. But that clock started ticking. Ooh, now look, here's the adult hat so you can get a good look. This hat is claimed. I showed my cousin back in Philly this hat. And she said, ooh, ooh. And I could hear the ooh meaning like, ooh, that would look good on me. So now, since everybody has seen, remember, I'm calling this the blueberry sunset hat. Okay, and it needs to go to Philly to my cousin. So I'm about to pack it on up. Meanwhile, just for the tutorial, here's the baby hat. Oh, look at the baby hat. And just to show y'all the color that I am about to finish, I was making another one, right? Look at those colors and tell me that. But oh, look, you know that's gonna look super cute. Oh, look, my nail polish match. Ah, look at that. Look at that. So there you have it. Okay, now this isn't my best tutorial, but I hope that you guys like this and try this. And leave a comment below and tell me how it worked out for you, you know. And I'm going to start to invite people. If you have made this hat, I would like to see it. Now, I do have an Instagram account. It is not Pinky Hooks, but it is Pinky 50, the number 50, 50 hooks, okay? So you can go there and you can post. It is a private account for right now, so you would have to send me a request and I will go ahead and accept it. And then you can post and say, look, Shania, I made that hat. Look at that baby hat. Oh, I said I had 2 friends that had babies. I think I got 3. So anyway, thank you for watching so much. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. And I will be seeing you guys probably this Sunday to have dinner, so we can see what I'm going to cook for dinner on Sunday. All right. Be careful and be blessed. Good night.